What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for a new video. It's been a minute since our last upload, but that is partly because I've been busy. I've also just fallen off of my groove a little bit with all of life going on, things knocking me off of my groove, but I'm getting back on it now, so sorry for the delay since our last video. And to top it off on why it's been so long since I've uploaded, this is now the third time that I'm recording this analysis. The first time I messed it up where you couldn't see my epic pen when I was drawing on the screen. I got about 40 minutes into the analysis, about 3/4 of the way through, and I was like, shit, you can't even see what I'm drawing on the screen. Then I did it live on stream after getting off of work and then playing about 2 hours of ranked. I then did this analysis and I was tired and I didn't like the quality of the analysis that I was giving, so I told the stream, you know what, I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna just count that as a teaser and then finish it right now. But I'm re-recording the whole thing because I didn't like the quality of analysis I was giving. And so I've seen this replay now through about 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way, twice now. So this hopefully will be the best recording of all 3 attempts. So this is your Grandma 10P, interesting in-game name. Paired up with Branson, actually queued up with Branson. If you've been around the channel, Branson's not a new face. So that's cool to see Branson's teammate. Your Grandma 10 feet, and this is Champ 1. He says Champ 1/Champ 2, so we're gonna assume Champ 1, probably high Champ 1. 2v2. Let's get into it. Oh, and also, because it's been a while since I've recorded and it's been a while since I've uploaded and I'm still behind and I'm still busy, I am going to try to get this done in one take. Not going to want to go and do a lot of editing, a lot of cutting. We're just literally going to try to record this and upload it. So we're going to try to be clear, concise, and effective in our explanations here. All right, I want to see you be a bit more aggressive here in this position. Go back one more time. Right here, as soon as you see he's not going for this ball, I want to see you push. I want to see you push this. Not only at this point in time can you get to this ball before he can, right? If you push this and aerial up for this ball, by the time he gets to the ground and aerials for this ball, you've got him beat. You've got him beat for sure. So his spacing isn't great here. You can beat him to this ball if you just go. The only way he can beat you here is if he jumps off of the wall as you're pushing and hits the ball. But at that point, Branson's behind you. You're not last man. Yes, Branson's got a very small amount of boost, but if he decides to jump off of the wall and hit the ball past you, that's it. That's the extent of his play, and Branson should have an easy touch afterwards. So there's no reason for you to hesitate here. And by hesitating, you just give him a lot of time and space. And something else I noticed while watching this now for the third time is you're in no man's land in this position. No man's land, for those of you who don't know what that saying means, it's when you are not close enough to the player to actually challenge or hit the ball, but you're also not far enough back. You're too close. You're too close to get back and play defense, but you're not close enough to challenge, right? You can't challenge and you also can't play defense. And that's kind of where you're at in this position. Because if he hits this hard to the backboard, like if he hits this well hard to the backboard, because you will see that he does end up hitting this to the backboard, but it's a very bad touch, and so you're able to get there. But if he hits this well to the backboard, you cannot turn around and get there in time to clear the ball off of the backboard. And vice versa, if he decides to make a solo play here, start an air dribble, you're also not close enough to challenge that. So you are in no man's land here. So by hesitating and not pushing when you had the chance, you've given him a lot of opportunities here. Advantage of this being my third time doing this analysis, I didn't point this out either the first 2 times, but when I was reviewing the second time that I did this analysis, I realized this is something I should point out. You're double jumping for this aerial. You're double jumping for a ball that you don't need to be double jumping for. You're fast aerialing for something that you don't need a fast aerial for. If possible, when possible, you should try to hold on to your second flip in order to get a more powerful touch using the flip, or to get more accurate placement using the flip, right? If you double jump into a ball, you could still get like max power just double jumping into a ball. But in this situation, wouldn't it be a lot better to single jump and then get a little air roll and then shoot the ball, versus double jumping for a ball that you don't need a double jump for, and then having a lot less control on the placement of your shot? If you don't double jump for this, I think you can easily see how using your second flip here would have been very good for getting this shot to actually be on target. But because you double jump, again, for something you don't have to double jump for, that's all you're able to do with the ball. And then one other thing right after this play, this is something I pointed out both other times. So I caught this both other times that we did the analysis. But after you don't decide to challenge this ball, right? You're now on 0 boost, 3 boost. You're pretty much on 0 boost. You can't turn and challenge in the corner, right? You cannot challenge in the corner. It'd be very silly because, bam, as soon as we look back at him in this position, if you were to turn and challenge with such a little momentum, no boost, he's easily beating you. He easily drives it past you, or he drives it past you this way, or he flicks you. Very easy for you to get beat here, and then being on 0 boost all the way in their corner, it's going to take you a long time to recover and get back on defense. So you don't want to challenge here, which you don't, so that's good. But also that mid boost is not there, so you don't have a boost near you, and you're just lingering around in this area for far too long. I'm going to go back one more time and play it through. So bam, at this point you've decided not to challenge. You can't challenge. That boost being there is a replay bug. That mid boost is not there. That was not there. See, your boost is still at 3, even though you drove over that. So that boost was not there. You knew that boost wasn't there. And now instead of rotating back, grabbing your back corner and then immediately pushing back up, or instead of grabbing pads and then trying to stay in the play quickly by grabbing a couple pads and then turning to challenge after Branson challenges, you don't do anything except linger around midfield with no boost for an extra like 3 or 4 seconds that you could have been spending getting boosted and then pushing back up. So you just got to be a little bit more decisive and execute on your decision a little faster. So bam, as soon as this comes through, bam, you decide not to challenge. That mid boost isn't there. Right at this point, you should be flipping back. That back corner boost is there. Imagine this boost is here. Let me draw that boost there. Bam, that boost is there. You need to be instantly and quickly flipping back, grabbing that boost, and then getting ready to turn back upfield. Or coming out to midfield, picking up a couple pads, and again, turning back upfield. Either one, either the back corner boost or the pads would work here. Had you been faster on your decision making here, bam, at this point you're flipping back. Bam, at this point you've gotten your back corner boost. You're on your back corner boost. You're now turning back upfield. At this point in time, you could probably already be as far up as this pad, if not at least this pad, with full boost. You would now be up for the ball. Right now, you'd be up for this ball, and look, that'd be an open net. If you were up for this ball right now, bam, you could be meeting it right now, and that's an open net. That's super open. So just lingering in the midfield with 0 boost for no reason costs you a shooting opportunity. That's how Rocket League really works. That's how a lot of competitive games work. One mistake leads to another mistake, leads to a missed opportunity, and then you don't win the game. Good job trying to interfere with his possession play there. Always good to try and help out your teammates when they're in a 1v1. Same issue as earlier. The first issue we pointed out, you're pushing in the no man's land. So that's been something that I was noticing you were kind of doing somewhat often, right? You don't have backup here. Branson, bang, your teammate right there. He's way in front of you. He's not rotated back yet. And so you're last man here. By the time you flip up in this direction, this ball's already going to be right in front of TTV. We'll call him Waymo. That's his name, Waymo. By the time you finish your flip and get up into this position where you're still not close enough to challenge, you're again pushing into no man's land. The ball's now in front of Waymo and he can just bang it right over your head to an open backfield because Branson's not back. You're not close enough to challenge. You're also not far enough back to prevent him from wanting to bang it, because if he banged it, if you were back here and he bangs it, it's just a pass to you, right? But if you're up here where it goes clear over your head, why wouldn't he bang it past you, you know? So you got to be a little bit more careful about pushing in no man's land. You're pushing too close. You're pushing into an area, I should say, where you're not close enough to challenge, and you're also too close to get back and play defense. Bless me, not cutting that out. So back in this position, what you would want to do here, honestly, is just probably wait where you're at, because if he tries to make the controlled play, Branson can interfere with him and help you out. And if he bangs it and you're back, it's not threatening at all, right? So you've got both options covered there. If you wait here, if he bangs it, you've got it covered. If he doesn't bang it, Branson's got it covered. So I would just not flip forward here. Hold your ground here and see what option Waymo decides to take. And then this is a pretty sketchy challenge. You gotta be a little bit. This is just kind of an experience thing. Maybe you don't realize, if you know what I'm about to say now, maybe think about that for a second. What I'm about to say. If you don't know what I'm about to say, then that's just a lack of experience. What I'm gonna say is Waymo can get this ball past you, and you're again last man. Branson's not back yet. He's got no momentum coming back to defense. If this ball gets past you, Janich is gonna get to this shot before Branson can get back to block it. And where this is possible for Waymo to get this past you is right here, right? As he's landing on the wall, with your positioning right here, look at how open this is. If Waymo lands slightly quicker, slightly better, and just chips this off the wall in this direction, again, this is an open net for Janish behind you. So, gotta be careful about how you're approaching the ball when you're coming to challenge. You don't want to leave any openings for him to get the ball past you. So you're kind of challenging up in this angle. I'd like to see you come and challenge a bit more in this angle. That way, if he chips it, you've still got that angle covered right here. You see what I mean? Just not too much, not really a great way to explain this and to tell you how you could have done it better. Because if we watch it through again, right, this comes through, you probably could have just taken a wider turn in the net before you start challenging, right? If you come, this happens, and instead of turning right here at the near post, you do a slightly wider turn, then bam, at this point, you're at a much better angle to come and challenge, because you come and challenge in this direction. Again, you see how you're covering this area while also covering this area. With where you're at, you're only covering this angle, this challenge. But if you're coming from this a little bit further out, you're able to cover both options. So it's very small. It's a very small detail, and it's really hard to really explain or it's really hard to think about how you could have done that better. It's kind of just an experience thing, and you'll get better at something like that over time, for sure. Really close double tap attempt. Good try there. And really solid gameplay all around there. Let's go back, watch that entire play develop one more time. So after the double tap attempt, you rotate out. Is this mid boost up? It's not up. But you rotate out, grab the back corner boost. Branson hits you with the beautiful back pass to keep possession of the play. Good first touch. You don't try to do too much. A lot of people might try to go for a flip reset there, trying to feel themselves a little too hard. You just shoot the open net and you score. So good job there. Good patience. Right? A lot of people in your position here would probably just dive at this ball. They'd be like, oh my God, Branson messed up. I gotta go now. You know what I mean? Like right here, as soon as this happens, they'd be like, oh shit, Branson needs help. Let me go. But really, this isn't a super threatening ball. Branson's still straight underneath the ball. He can get up and jump and intercept Waymo before anything bad happens. So I like the patience here. The only thing that you could have done better here was, instead of completely giving away possession with this bang, no, I'm not going to tell you to dribble this. One, because you can't get to this ball in time to catch it for the dribble. But two, Jay Nish is close enough that if you try to wait for another bounce to dribble this, you got to get this ball moving quicker. One, if you try to wait for this to bounce one more time to pick it up on your hood and dribble, he can challenge you. And because you're starting to dribble pretty much right in front of your net, there's a really high chance you can get dunked. Really risky to try to start a dribble right in front of your net when somebody could challenge you. And there's a high chance of you getting dunked straight into your net. So what I want to see you do, instead of banging this to their corner where it's pretty much a giveaway of possession, I want to see you bang it actually off of the sidewall. Bang it off the sidewall, and then it will bounce out middle and you can follow it up, right? You flip into it in this direction. Your car lands up in this area. Preemptively, you know it's going to happen. You've hit it off the sidewall with a purpose so that it bounces out midfield and sets you up. So you're preemptively already turning your wheels, turning your car in this direction. So as soon as you land from your flip, you're already moving in this direction. Ball's over your head and you still have possession. Never in that entire play would you be giving up possession. You hit this here, Janish most likely does not challenge. If he challenges and he misses or he messes up, it's very risky. Very low chance that as last man, somebody's going to challenge this ball here. And then after it bounces, because again, you have preemptively turned your car in this direction, you're going to be very quick to get back straight underneath the ball. And again, if he challenges as last man, when you could also double jump up and challenge him really quickly, it's very risky for him. So you're putting him in a very difficult spot with one touch, which is why this is such a good play. And you want to take this play rather than hit it to the corner and give it away. So again, if this was off the sidewall, look at his positioning. If this is off the sidewall and he jumps at this point in time and tries to read it, one, it's a difficult read, especially for a Champ 1 player. He likely misses, so he probably isn't going to try to challenge it in the first place. Thus, you land behind the ball and you now have him, as he's rotating back this way, you're landing this way, ball's over your head, and you've got him in a 1v1 position. It is a bit of a risky, I mean, it is not a bit, it's a very risky challenge here. I don't like this very early jump off the wall, right? In this position, you're instantly jumping off the wall here. But what happens if he just flips into this right now? You're jumping right here. If he just flips into this and hits it off your backboard, you're out of the play. He's beating you, you're out of the play, and now it's coming off the backboard for his teammate in front of the net while Branson's in the net. So what I would rather see you do here is actually just wait on this back wall, because then if you're waiting on the back wall, if I go in the fly perspective and show you, pretend to be you, pretend I'm you, ignore yourself here, he goes up for this like he does, bam, you're just waiting on the wall, waiting for him to hit it into you, you catch it on the wall, and you dribble it out safely to your corner, and that play was completely worthless for them. And then if he decided to flip it into the backboard early, and he would have, beat you in this position. If I'm you and he flips into that, hits it to the backboard, again, you catch it and you safely dribble it out of your corner. Or you bang it off the sidewall, let Branson come in and follow you up. Or Branson sees that you are on the backboard, it's an easy ball for you to bang or to read, and so he preemptively starts going up this direction, and you bang it to him off of the backboard as a direct pass to him. So just by waiting on the backboard, there's a lot of ways that this play was a lot better. I hope you're seeing what I'm meaning and how it would have been better. You got lucky that you got the block. I would say in this position, if you challenge the way that you did and he's in the position that he was, at least 60% of the time, you're missing and he's getting the ball past you. And then you're out of the play, flying all this way, using extra boost to get back quickly, leaving Branson in a 1v1, 2v1 for a little bit. And then we've got a mistake immediately afterwards. You rotated very severely straight into the play here. After your challenge here, I want to see you land and turn to the right. Turn to the right. Because Branson, is behind you. He's going to be facing this direction. And you want to keep your rotations circular and you want to rotate away from the play. So if you turn and you rotate in this way, bang, look at that. You're facing each other, you're head on with each other, you're in each other's way. But if instead you rotate circular behind your teammate, not only are you rotating behind your teammate, you're rotating to the back post of the net. You've got the net covered. Branson then can push anything that happens in this area. Anything. You can do anything in this direction. You're backing him up. If the ball gets past him, guess what? You're there. That's the beauty of rotating away from the play, keeping your rotation circular, constantly backing up your teammate, constantly having, as Flake says, a double layer of defense. Branson can push. If he gets beat, it's fine because the double layer of defense, you're behind him. Then Branson rotates behind you. If you get beat, it doesn't matter. Branson's behind you, and that just keeps going on and on and on. That's the beauty of rotating circular. That's the beauty of rotating behind your teammate. Beauty of rotating away from the ball. It just never matters. One person gets beat, the other one's rotating behind him. The next person gets beat, doesn't matter. The next person's rotating in behind him. And if done properly, if done correctly, it takes a very high level of play to beat solid defensive rotations. That's why the demo meta is so popular nowadays, because a lot of pro teams were just so good that at just holding those defensive rotations that unless you demo the defense, it's almost impossible to score. Because it's just so easy to play defense when people know how to rotate defensively. Rotate behind your teammate, rotate away from the ball, rotate circular. It makes defense so easy that it either forces an insane solo play or it forces them to have to demo you in order to break down the defense. And you see how this develops because you don't rotate away? Bam. Not only are you rotating into the play, you're also almost bumping Branson with your rotation into the play here. But at this point in time, if you had rotated away from the play, you'd actually already be facing this direction. You'd already be at the back post facing the play. You'd already be facing the play, ready to go. So as soon as Branson doesn't hit the ball here, bam, you're here and you're already pushing. You're already pushing. You've got a beautiful line of sight on the ball, a beautiful angle on the ball. And bam, you've already challenged. You've hit the challenge. You're 50-50ing Jay Nish right now. Rather than now Jay Nish has you in a 1v1. Luckily he misses, but if he didn't, that was probably a goal. You see what Branson's doing? He's rotating behind you. He's not coming in this position, and a lot of people will turn back this direction and rotate straight back into the play. No, he's landing on the wall, and look at that. He's rotating behind you. So as long as he gets back in time, or as long as you buy him enough time to get behind you, if you get beat, it doesn't matter because he'll be right behind you. So one more time, let's go back and look at Branson. Challenges, and instead of rotating back into the corner, rotating into the play, he's rotating circular, rotating behind you. And look at that, he's right there again to go again. It's just a beautiful thing, beautiful, beautiful thing. Really like that pop. It was a good attempt. But guess what? They've got the double layer of defense. So as soon as you get it past the first guy, second guy's there. One fault by Branson here. He should have gone for this pass to you right here. If he just goes up and chips this down in front of the net, you're scoring it all day. Unfortunate. Let's see it from... I was actually kind of... I want to see it from Branson's point of view. Why he doesn't go up and try to chip this down. So bam. Oh, he probably thinks he has enough time to just wait it out. Just doesn't realize. Might as well chip it down. Might as well chip it down. Unlucky. It's cool though. I do like by you that you realize it's not scoreable, and so you don't just dive at it hoping for the best and taking yourself out of the play. You do your level of patience has been pretty good this game. I'm not saying that patience is always the best thing, or that playing slow and passive is always the best thing, but when you needed to be patient, you have been. So you've been good on that front, knowing when it's not worth going. This is a pretty risky play here. Right here, this is your opening the challenge. TTV's hitting the ball. He has hit the ball away from himself here, and he can't get back to it. Right here, he's flipped. So until he lands, he can't go for the ball again unless he boosts into it. But if he boosts, you can hear it, you can see it. So until he lands, that is your opening to make a play on this ball. Bam. You can do something. You can do something. You can do something. But at this point, now if you go, he's most likely at least 50-50ing you. And you are last man. They are pushing you back on offense. You're last man. Branson's actually in their net. So the last thing you want right now is a 50-50. As last man, you do not want to be taking a 50-50 until you've got backup. Because if they beat you on the 50-50, or if they even get a neutral 50-50, it's still beneficial for them. So you waiting so long to actually do something on the ball here is a no-no. You had lots of time and opportunity to try to keep this in their half. You didn't take it, and now you've given him the opportunity to 50 you. So at this point, you just need to turn and play defense, because challenging at this point is very risky. Bam. He jumps up, he double jumps at the ball, he's getting it past you. Bam. He hits this ball, he's 50ing it with you, nobody's back behind you, it's probably a goal. You got, again, you've been pretty lucky this game. It may not seem like it's a lucky game, but you've gotten pretty lucky that a lot of these times you haven't gotten beat. And also here, I would like to see you again rotating behind Branson, keeping those rotations circular. So what you gotta notice here, is Branson's facing this direction. And so if Branson makes a save, the ball's gonna be going in this direction in some way, shape, or form. Most likely. There is the chance that he 50s it behind himself or something like that. But because the next person to challenge the ball is going to be challenging from this direction, the play is going to be developing in this direction. And so you are pushing into the play. To simplify that, if you just think rotate behind your teammate, you don't really have to worry about that. Rotate behind the person that's challenging next. And then once this comes through, this challenge comes through, either Branson follows up on it himself or you have the next challenge. You have the next play on the ball. And then you wouldn't be in a position to mess up this touch in the first place, right? This touch you make is not good. And if you were behind Branson at this point in time, again, either Branson goes again himself, or you notice Branson decides to rotate and lets you go from a much better angle. Because this touch that you make just recenters the ball for your opponent. And you get scored on for it. Those of you who watch my analysis all the time, what am I going to say? I think you know it. But what I'm going to say is when you're playing twos or you're playing threes, doesn't matter, and one person is here doing the kickoff on either side, one person's off on the corner, the other person's in midfield, you always want, as this person in midfield, you always want to grab the boost behind your player doing the kickoff. You want to grab the boost behind the person doing the kickoff because, as we see here, when you are coming for the ball left to right or right to left, the direction that you're taking your momentum off of kickoff is most likely going to be the side of the field that you land on after the kickoff. So he's pushing from left to right, and thus he lands on the right side of the field. So now Branson, the closest boost he can get is going to be mid boost. So he's going to push this direction. Or, you know, everything's a little bit situational. But say this ball doesn't roll out in this direction and Waymo cheated up. Waymo is not going to let Branson have this boost for free. He's going to race him to it and he's going to beat him to the mid boost. Thus, Branson's going to have to continue his rotation back in this direction, right? Say Branson gets beat to the mid boost over here. So he's going to turn and continue back to the corner for the next closest boost. But because you just took that boost, it's not going to be there for Branson, and now Branson's boost starved. So let me go back and actually look at this from the kickoff. It's a little easier to see and explain. And I know I explain this concept all the time, but there's new viewers every video, people who haven't heard this yet. So you got to explain everything all the time, just expecting that there's somebody who hasn't heard what you're saying. So as Branson's going for this kickoff in this direction, his momentum is going to carry him in this direction. As we saw, he lands in this area. So say that Waymo cheated up. And this 50-50, this kickoff, maybe lands in this area a little bit. The two people who did the kickoff or the person cheating up are gonna try to beat someone to this mid boost. So if your teammate here who does the kickoff and has 0 boost goes for the next closest boost, which is the mid boost, the midfield boost, and they get beat to it, they still have 0 boost. And so wanting to get more boosts, they're going to be rotating back to the next closest boost, which is going to be the back corner boost. And you went off in this direction and you stole that boost. So instead, if you go off in this direction, if you're not going to cheat, because cheating up is also an option, you don't have to, but it is an option. But if you're not going to cheat, you might as well take the boost behind your teammate, because 9 out of 10 times, your teammate will land in the opposite side that they started and then veer off in this direction. So you don't want to steal this boost back here, thus boost starving them. You want to take this boost back here that 9 out of 10 times they're not going to need. Hope that made sense. I feel like that might have been the worst I've ever explained that concept, to be quite honest. Watch, if you need a little bit more explanation on that, watch probably any of my other replay analysis. I pointed out almost every analysis. I think my last one that I uploaded, I did definitely point it out. Just check them out. If that didn't make sense to you. I don't know why I'm having a little bit of a difficult time explaining that. Are we in no man's land again? Grandma. That's your name, Grandma. Are we in no man's land again? Let's see. Seems like you've been having a real bad habit of being in no man's land. Right here. So Branson just got mid boost at this point in time. He's got mid boost. He's rotating behind you. He's rotating behind you. He's on defense, which means you don't need to also be on defense. So I want to see you push this. I want to see you. You don't have to aerial for this, but I want to see you get close enough to challenge if they wait for this ball to come all the way down to the ground. Because again, you've got Branson behind you. So if you force them to hit this over you, Branson's got a free ball. If you force them to hit this past you, it's free for Branson. But if you just wait here in no man's land, they have the time and the space to make a solo play, to wait for this ball to bounce, start an air dribble, go into a flip reset. This is only champ 1, champ 2, but the concept still stands. And if you push this here, instead of turning defensively like you are, putting yourself in no man's land, where you're not close enough to challenge, but you're also not far enough back to play defense. And you don't want to go back to play defense here anyways, because you've already got Branson behind you. I just want to see you, when Branson's behind you, when your teammate's behind you, ready for you to bait the touch, I want to see you bait the touch. You're not baiting the touch here by backing up. By backing up, you're giving him time and space to do whatever he wants. So I need to see you bait the touch here. Bait your opponent into giving away the ball to the player behind you, instead of backing up, and now you're both sitting there on defense, letting Waymo do whatever he wants. So you don't have to dive here. You don't have to try to go for the ball here. There could be an opportunity where you can. Let's watch it through one more time. At this point in time, I'm fine with you not going. I'm fine with you not going. But bam, don't turn back here. You've got Branson behind you. Turn up towards Waymo. And that's I would take that 50-50 probably. I would challenge this. I wouldn't just drive up to him. I would probably be challenging this ball. And again, your opponent doesn't execute, doesn't actually do anything, so it makes you think, how wrong could my play have been? You know, it worked out, right? But the concept is what matters. You don't want to base your gameplay off of the mistakes of your opponents. You want to base your gameplay off of you want to base your decision making based on what the most effective play is, not what's the most effective play if my opponents mess up, because you don't want to assume that your opponents are messing up. And that sounds a little weird because sometimes you want to be in position to capitalize if your opponents do mess up, but that's more of an offensive thing. When you're on offense, you want to be able to capitalize if your opponents mess up. But when you're on defense, you don't really want to assume that your opponents are going to mess up. That was very dangerous. What happened? Okay, so that comes through. Ah. There's the mistake. It's the preemptive half flip going upfield, right? You're kind of assuming the best here. You're assuming Branson's just got the free beat here. But both players are up. Both players are up here. It's a little risky to be just committing to offense here. It's a bit risky, for sure. Not too much to say about that other than pushing up preemptively on offense before you even see how the 50-50 is going to go. Bit risky, bit risky. And then it puts you in that awkward position. Again, patient when you need to be. You've been really good at knowing when it's not worth going. Well, I shouldn't say that because a lot of the time I just pointed out that you should have gone, that you should have challenged. But for the most part, you've been really good at knowing when you're beat, right? You've been really good at knowing when it's too risky to go. I like that 50, good low 50. Again, notice how you're rotating into the play. What did we point out that Branson did so well in your exact position a couple minutes ago, right? When Branson was in this exact position, instead of turning back, I said exactly the same thing. Instead of turning back and rotating into the corner, he rotated behind you, and you saw how well that worked out. But notice the opposite is what you do. You rotate right back into the corner, right back into the play instead of rotating behind Branson here. It's fine in this play. Nothing came of it. But when something does go wrong in that position and you rotated into the play, you rotated back into the corner, you wouldn't be there like Branson was on the last time that we pointed this out. So just sticking to those fundamental rotations of rotating back post, rotating behind your teammate, keeping your rotation circular, it just always keeps your back covered in case something does go wrong. So it's not that it's always necessary, but it's just that whenever it is necessary, it works. I hope that makes sense. Like it's not always necessary, but when it is necessary, you've done it and you're there and you're not giving up any opportunities. You're not giving up anything by doing it. It's only good. It's only positive. It's only beneficial. There's nothing to lose from it. And there's a ton to gain from it. Okay. Not the best aerial. I will say it's okay that you go up for this, but personally I would wait for this. What I would be doing is I would be waiting to see if Waymo instantly goes up. If Waymo goes up, then I would match him and I would go up and challenge him. But if he doesn't go up, bam, right here, just let the ball come further towards your corner, come closer down to the ground as long as you can until Waymo decides to challenge. Or if you're shadowing on the ground and you notice, bam, this is the time that I know Waymo's gonna go for it, then you go and you challenge. But it's just like this is fine. It's fine to go for this, but you didn't have to, is what I'm saying. And you could have waited. And by waiting, you're kind of just making it easier on yourself and almost it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. I don't know how to explain it. But by waiting, if you wait for this ball, right, instead of going up here, just keep shadowing. You're watching, right? Your perspective would look something like perspective if you had ball came on would probably look something like this. And you're waiting to see if Waymo goes. I'm on the wrong perspective here. One more time. Waymo never goes. Okay, at this point in time, you still wouldn't be under any danger if you're on the ground here. You're waiting for this ball and see if you waited instead of going up instantly, you would now have a clean catch into a 50-50 or something on the ground that's much more controlled. And if, you know, it's just a lot safer. It's a lot more controlled. You're not giving up possession. Yes, you have to take a 50-50 with Waymo then in this position, but Branson's backing you up. You're back here with 100 boosts or with 100 boosts right next to you to grab after the 50-50. Again, it's just kind of like if you go up and hit the ball like you do, you're keeping it away from Waymo, but then Janish probably has the next touch. And you've not really done anything except buy yourself an extra second or two. But if you wait, there's no danger in waiting. You're not taking yourself out of the play. You're kind of controlling the possession a little bit better. Just something to think about. It's kind of hard. I hope you following along a little bit with what I'm saying there. But even at the worst or at the best, I guess best case scenario if you wait is you wait to see when the opponent jumps and challenges the ball, and then you as well, like I said earlier, jump and challenge the ball. Or if it's not in a position where he can score, you don't jump and challenge the ball and he's giving away possession. But you're able to then bait him into overcommitting, right? You're baiting him in, and then as soon as he goes, you jump up and go and you beat him, and now you've taken one out of the play. I might cut that part out of the video. I don't know. Not sure how I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to explain. Let's keep it going. I'm actually fine with you grabbing this corner boost in this play. Somewhat unfortunate that that occurs there, but at the end of the day, I'm okay with you grabbing that corner boost there. Unfortunate miss. I think this is as far as I've gotten in the replay. I don't think anything else that happens, I'm gonna know what happens here. This would have been a really good ball to hit if you do hit this, because look at that. I mean, if you hit this towards Branson, you get it lobbed up this way. You've set up Branson, and he could possibly shoot this and score. Or at least keep possession, and then you've got a lot of boost still. Would have been on offense. So this is actually a good ball to go for. Just whiffed it, unfortunately. Is this going to be a goal as well? Oh, yeah, unfortunately. Right idea going for that ball. Just miss execution. Okay. Not the best touch here. Oh no. Little hesitant here, right? As soon as that pop happens, the ball's out of his possession now. That's your chance to go. Should have already been up for this. As soon as you see that he misses that catch and the ball pops up above his head, that's your chance to challenge. Bam, he's lost possession. But that slight hesitation gives him enough time to get up and 50 you. Any 0-second heroics? No. So yeah, not a lot to point out towards the tail end of the game there. I think the most recurring issues I could think of off the top of my head were definitely rotating away from the play, rotating behind your teammate, and keeping your rotation circular. Just that alone probably could have won you this game, honestly. Just rotating away from the play, rotating behind your teammate, keeping your rotation circular. That's all one thing, just 3 different ways to say it. I think you do that and you win this game, honestly. Secondly, what else was there? You were a bit hesitant. I think hesitation is a pretty good thing to point out in this game, right? Towards the beginning of the game, when I point out that you're hesitant to rotate out and to get yourself boosted up and back into the play, you just kind of lingered in a position where you couldn't do anything with 0 boost, and you hesitated on making a decision on whether to challenge or to rotate back and get boost. So you're a bit hesitant this game. You need to rotate away from the play and behind your teammates. And then third that comes to mind is definitely being in no man's land. A lot of the time you would have Branson. Okay, let me restart that. Being in no man's land, definitely a big problem that you had this game. Either you'd be pushing too close to where you're not close enough still. You'd be pushing. Ugh. This is the difficulty in not wanting to edit this video and cut out the fluff and stuff. You're pushing into an area sometimes where you're not close enough to challenge, but you're also not far enough back to play defense. So be weary of that. But then also, if Branson's behind you and ready to go, he's behind you, he's in a good position to follow up on whatever you do. That should be an indicator that you want to bait your opponent to do something. You want to push close enough that you force them to hit the ball around you, past you, over you, and then Branson is behind you to take possession of that touch. That's what a lot of good 2v2 and 3v3 rotation and gameplay is. And that's when your gameplay will feel the smoothest, is when you are just, as the first man, a lot of the time all you have to do is just force your opponent to hit the ball past you so that your second man in 2s or 3s gets a free ball behind you. If your teammate is behind you on defense, most of the time you don't want to also be on defense. You want to have somebody pressuring the play, somebody pressuring the ball, forcing them to do something, forcing them to hit it around you, forcing them to hit it past you, so then the person in the back gets a free possession. But if you both are sitting there in the net, on the goal line, you're just at the mercy of the player, and the closer and closer that play gets to your net before anyone has challenged or before anyone has baited out a touch, the least likely it is that you're going to be able to deal with the play. Right. Imagine you have a ball on your hood and you're an attacker, and both the defenders are in the net Maybe one of them's on the backboard if they're lucky. But the closer and closer you get, the less time this first man has to challenge the ball to make you do something, to give the person in the back a meaningful amount of time to be able to actually react to it, right? If you're here and nobody's challenged you, bam, you flick it, and they have to double commit and maybe save it, or it's just in the net. But if this person comes and challenges you, forces you to flick it now, then this person in the back gets an easy clear. Or if their positioning wasn't even this good and they had both people in the net, again, one person forces the flick, the person in the back has plenty of time to get the save. And that's what your goal is a lot of the time in 2v2, in 3v3, is just to challenge. You don't have to dive at the play, you don't have to take yourself out of the play, but be close enough to force them to hit the ball past you, and the person behind you gets a free ball. So those are definitely your 3 tips there. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on the video. Comment down below what you learned, what you plan on taking away from the video. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. Almost to 1,000 subscribers, boys. Get us there. Let's get it off this video. 40 subscribers off one video. That'd be insane. Probably not going to happen. But let's make it freaking happen. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye. Adios. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen.